All right, welcome everyone to the first meeting of the Erda City Council. I'd like to thank Brittany Lopez from the county for volunteering her time to be here and run our technical support, and Corey Warnick for volunteering to come and be our clerk and keep our minutes. I'd like to thank the county for the use of the building and their technology. They give that to us for free of use, free of charge. I'd like to start with a quick little statement about why we're meeting tonight with the holiday weekend upon us. We were sworn in Monday at noon. This was the first logical night that we could meet. We are under some time deadlines to get incorporation papers in. By statute, we only have until the 16th of December to have our paperwork in. And in the interest of doing the best for Erda, we've given up our time. Councilman Byrd has changed his holiday vacations plans in order to be here so we could get Erda started and not be behind where we need to be, because we have a lot of work to do and not a lot of time to do that. So I lined up the time and the place, and the entire city council agreed that we needed to get started and agreed to the time and place. I volunteered to chair this until we have a chairman, which is coming very quickly. So we'll do roll call. Jess Byrd.
Here.
Kel Martin.
Here.
Craig Smith, I'm here. Scott Dubay.
I'm not sure I'm here, but I'm here today.
All right. And Terry.
Here.
All right. First item of business is election of a chairman. Do we have any nominations for a chair?
So here's what I think. Do I have to turn this on again?
Yeah.
Recording and people online won't hear it, but mics are on.
Okay. So here's what I think. I think Craig and Jess have put a lot of initiative into getting us this far. And so I think one of you two ought to be the chair and the other ought to be the co-chair. Craig has a lot of experience at running these kinds of meetings and how they're supposed to be. But in my view, this chairperson is not a mayor, doesn't have any extra voting rights, is a person that we're nominating to do a lot more legwork for the same amount of money, which is zero, by the way. But on the other hand, Terry could be our chair.
Not yet.
Because he has time to do legwork. But those are my thoughts. So if you were asking me, I would vote for Craig to be the chairman and Jess to be the co-chair, because they have a lot on the ball.
Not a vote yet. We haven't.
I know.
Nomination.
I know, that's my thoughts. So,
Is that a nomination then?
well, do we have to do Robert's Rules of Parliamentary Procedure? Don't we get to decide if we have, don't we get to decide if we do that or not?
We will eventually.
See, Terry and I got sick of it in high school.
Extra.
So
I nominate Jess Byrd for the chair. Any second?
I second that. I'll accept.
Well, that's probably three. Gonna vote on it?
probably is.
Roll call vote or? Or just say aye.
Aye.
There's three. Just say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right.
So be it.
Jess.
I nominate Craig to be the co-chair.
I'm making a lot of nominations.
Say second.
I'll second it.
Co-chair.
I thought it was vice chair.
I think it's Rhodes co-chair. Or vice chair. I don't care either one. Vice chair.
Semantics.
Vice chair.
Jess's meeting.
He's moving already.
Yep.
Does he sign the contract?
Why don't you sit here, Craig?
All right. Craig Smith, do you accept your nomination?
Yes.
Okay. Should we have a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Two.
Motion carries. All right. Looks like we've got a chair and is it vice chair or co-chair?
I don't know, you're conducting.
Vice chair.
Vice chair. All right, well. Thought I might have something to say, but I don't have much to say. We've got a lot of work to do, so let's get to work. Next on our agenda is adoption of rules. Craig Smith had circulated about a week ago a Robert's Rules cheat sheet. And I think it's a great place to start. I do think we ought to be operating on Robert's Rules because, well, for a lot of reasons, but for one, it makes sure that the minority gets heard. And I think that's going to be important in every meeting. So,
But you're talking the general policies and principle, not as strict to the.
yeah, Robert's Rules should only be followed just as strictly, as minimally as possible to keep the meeting moving forward. And so with that kind of understanding, I would accept a motion to accept Robert's Rules as our, the rules that we adopt as Erda City.
Second that.
Is there any other discussion?
Any discussion?
So you're talking about just accepting them in a general format, not in, not in a letter of the law.
Here, I'll make a motion for you. I move that we generally accept Robert's rules, not strictly adopt Robert's rules as a parliamentary procedure to run our meetings by.
I second that.
Okay, we've got a motion and an amendment seconded. Is there any further discussion on that? Okay, I think it's great. Take it to a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Okay, recorder, you got that? All right. Next item, meeting schedule. I think we're gonna have a lot of discussion on this, so I'll just open it up. When and where do we want to meet?
That's not even a bad question. The where will be dealt with, I think, more in a committee further down. The when, now it's really very much can be on the schedule right now. We need to figure out.
Oh, okay, all right. So it looks like, yeah, item J is office and meeting places. Number 4 is meeting schedule. So Craig, you kind of put this together. What was there a difference there?
Well, yeah, down below, that's a committee to find a place for us to meet.
Okay.
And an
So
office.
right now, are we just deciding when and what day?
When we will meet.
Okay.
And
All
we'll
right.
have to agree on a place.
Then I would be accepting motions for what day and what time.
Well, I think we should discuss this one some. I think we have a lot to do. That being said, there's a holiday week. I don't know how much we're gonna get done in the rest of the week. But we shouldn't prolong it any more than absolutely possible. We have to either. So I would say that if we met on the 8th and the 22nd, that would of December. And maybe we meet every second and fourth week through the next year. I don't know if that's meeting enough. We can always we have to have a meeting schedule posted for a year. We have to do a meeting schedule and post that. And we can always add emergency meetings.
But I think got a deadline of the 26th, right? So we may have to meet more prior to that.
There is a deadline of the 16th to have everything turned in. So
We need to-
we certainly need to meet between now and then. I don't think there's any question about that.
You don't think we ought to meet every week for the next Wednesday?
It might not hurt. It very well might not hurt.
Personally, I was thinking we'd start out almost every week and then move on to, then bring that down a little bit every other week. Probably for the first year.
Especially where we gotta get this accomplished by the 16th.
Yes.
I'm just talking to Craig.
So if
I think we ought to meet every week. And Wednesdays,
Well, I largely agree. We have a lot of work to do. I don't know between today and next Wednesday how much we'll get done, but maybe we'll surprise ourselves.
okay,
Every Wednesday at 7.
I don't know if we want to do Wednesdays or Thursdays or Tuesdays.
What works best for you guys? What days?
Personally, I really like Wednesday at 7.
I do.
Okay.
but some of that depends on where we're gonna meet.
Make sure you use your microphone so we can hear, please. Pull your mic so close.
okay.
I know this building every other Wednesday is not available
On a Wednesday.
on Wednesdays, and
So-
Tuesdays aren't available on this building because of county council meetings.
So what happens here on Thursdays?
And every third Thursday it's not available.
And every third Thursday?
What about Friday?
Well, that's if they're gonna be here though, too, so.
Can we pick and choose?
Yes.
Like next week, we meet on Wednesday, but then the week after that, we meet on Thursday.
I
When
think as long
nobody's,
as you
when
give
nobody's
public
using the
notice.
building.
We can pick and choose any days we want.
Maybe we'll have to do that if we're gonna meet every week.
All right, Brittany, what days are open next week?
I don't, so the scheduling for this building goes through our facilities department. You would have to contact Christine for that. I just know the basic schedules of meetings. I believe next Wednesday is available. The following Wednesday would not be. Craig would know that because that's planning commission.
Next Wednesday is planning commission.
Next Wednesday is.
But that doesn't mean we still can't meet somewhere else.
You could meet Thursday or the week. You could do Thursday next week.
We can't do Wednesday, but we can do Thursday.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to think of somewhere where we would get this many people if we didn't do it here.
The auditorium is usually available downstairs where they had done meeting when this
Oh.
was, so. Not, and if that, then you guys can bring we have other technology, you guys wouldn't have to use a county person to run the technology. We did, this plugs directly into our system until we get a laptop for you guys to use. You can't use it. Does that make sense? Anyways, long story,
Okay,
puts us at security risk. So anyhow, but we have other cameras that aren't directly connected to the system, so you could use that, have your own technology person and everything too, so. You just have to work through that with facilities.
what do you say?
Sounds like we're ready for a motion.
Emotion or emotion?
You can say it with
Is
emotion.
this gonna be feasible though, to meet in the auditorium downstairs? Do we have the technology? Because we're gonna need to bring our own.
We just need
recorder,
a,
right?
we just
would
need a
have something
laptop.
You could actually use if you had your own computer. We'd have microphones and things that you could use. So you guys already have the Zoom account and you'd be fine.
And so we have that.
And
Yeah, we got-
have a webcam you could use and some
Mics.
mics that can sit around for.
Okay,
Okay.
But again, down the road, there might be other options.
Yeah.
Continue to.
But this
Yeah.
gets us through next week.
So I would have less conflicts on Thursday. And that room would be available every Thursday.
how's Thursday for you?
But
Jeff?
within reason, we'll have to check with
Okay,
facilities, but
okay. So we start meeting on Thursday next week then.
correct.
Okay,
I make the motion to meet next Thursday at 7 o'clock.
Okay,
that's almost a second.
Do we want
Got
to
an
do?
okay.
we need it in a second, or I gotta ignore that?
I would second that with an amendment that we make it every
Okay.
Thursday till further notice
In the auditorium
in the auditorium downstairs.
until further notice. Okay,
I concur.
motion and amendment is that we meet every Thursday at 7 o'clock in the auditorium in the county building with technology provided by the county and one laptop provided by the city council. Did I miss anything? All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, next on the schedule is, or on the agenda is report from the sponsors. Is there any sponsor here that would like to make a report? I see Caleb Sessions is coming up.
Do I have to, there we go. Yes, my name's Caleb Sessions. I live in Erda. So again, thank you for all of your service. Just to be short and to the point, I've brought a copy of the 2018 Incorporation Code. You might have that. I can leave that here with you. Just to highlight the major steps remaining. As you've noted, there's a timeline that is set forth now upon the canvas. Parallel to you, the county clerk is to submit information to the state within 10 days of the canvas. And then the mayor, this is under 217 of the future city, or in our case, the chairperson, shall submit within 30 days to the state a copy of a notice of impending boundary action and a copy of an approved final local entity plat. For the final local entity plat, Doug Kinsman is who did the plat for us for the incorporation petition. So you could reach out to him. We've communicated with him to give him a heads up to get that done for you, meaning you guys would be reaching out to him. Then after that's done, you have to submit that to the county to let the county look at it, that surveyor plat before it's submitted to the state. And then when it comes back, the certification comes back, you need to maintain the originals, and the originals are given to the county clerk. Some more coordination with the county under 219. It talks about steps where the county, what they shall do and what they may do as far as funds and taxes. So just coordinating with them. Before incorporation, before the official incorporation, there's may. They may give you funds. It's their prerogative. But definitely after you incorporate, there's a shall pro rata. You will negotiate with them how that pro rata will occur. So again, thank you for your service.
Have you got any contact number or anything for that Kingsman guy?
You can search, do you guys know where Ensign Engineering? If you look up Ensign Engineering and call the main number there. Do any of you want the 2018 code, or you got a copy?
I think we've got a copy.
All right, sounds good. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sessions. All right.
I just wanted to take a minute and thank the sponsors for all you did to make this day happen. I know it's been not just like weeks or months, but years in the making. We appreciate all the work that you did getting us to this point. So.
A second. All right, now it's time to make some assignments. Here on the agenda, it says committee or individual. I'm going to recommend, now this is a recommendation as council member, not chair, that we assign maybe all of these as committees. I think we ought to be working in pairs on these. And so item A, for assignments is roads. There's probably a number of ways we could assign these committees. We could do nominations, we could do volunteer. I think maybe we ought to vote on if there's more than two. Well, either way, we ought to vote on who gets assigned to the committee, and if there's more than two that wants to, then we'll have to go through a voting process. Does that sound about right to everybody?
Yeah, more than two.
We can't have more than two. What I'm saying is if we get three, we've got to narrow it down somehow. Just to make things clear, we're a body of 5 council members, 3 constitutes a quorum. And so outside of this place or outside of meeting setting that's been with a proper agenda and public notice, we can't even be together in the same meeting, 3 of us. So committees have to be limited to 2. All right, discussion or nominations for roads assignment.
Has anybody had any conversations with the county road department? Okay,
So that's you?
I haven't had any,
No, that's you.
but I could do it as well as anyone. Well, no, you could do it better, Terry, but other than Terry,
Sounds like
I could do it
Scott
as
and I
well
will
as
do
anyone.
roads.
I'll volunteer for the roads. Are you volunteering for the roads?
Okay, we've got 2 volunteers.
Sounds done.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, Terry Minor and Scott Dubé will be our roads committee. Item B, police.
So Craig's already had a conversation with the sheriff.
Yeah, I've had a lengthy conversation with Sheriff Wimmer, and I'm happy to be on that committee.
Would you give us the 30 or 60-second rundown of what the sheriff has recommended to us and kind of go over that?
Sheriff has said he's happy to help us. He's not big on contract policing. He had it in Wendover and wasn't real happy with the situation out there, but he's willing to help us out at his loss of net revenue. That being said, he says he'll only do them for 1-year contracts. And he suggested that we look into a town marshal as a way to save money. But that's something that as a committee, we'll have to try to get numbers together and bring back to this group.
Okay,
So in other words, he's willing to do it as long as he doesn't lose the revenue that he normally would collect from our property tax.
Correct.
Seems like a pretty reasonable deal to me.
I thought it sounded like a
Yeah.
very reasonable offer.
I think
That's
it's a good
probably what
offer.
the committee will come back with and say, yeah, let's take them.
Okay. So Craig, you're going to be on that committee, and who?
Whoever else wants to jump on.
I'll do it with you. It's already half done, see, so I'm volunteering.
okay. Anybody else want to volunteer or nominate? Okay, we've got Craig Smith and Scott Dubé on the police committee. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. On to item C, ordinance to adopt from another city or county. Now, I just want to clarify, we have no ordinances before us. We will not be discussing very many ordinances tonight, and we are not adopting any ordinances from any other county or city tonight. This is just an assignment to look into that and make recommendations to the council. Anybody have any problems with that statement? Sound about right?
Well, we are going to be going over one ordinance tonight, though, right? The planning.
Yeah.
Correct,
Yeah.
but not in terms of adopting. from
This
another
is
city.
just a committee to find a city ordinance that we can adopt unilaterally and then fix to make Erda City's ordinance out of it. But
Yeah.
ordinances, pages and pages and pages. So we'll need to adopt someone else's and then fix it to make it ours.
Yeah.
And this is just a committee to look at other cities and counties and see what might fit for the rest of us to vote on.
They can read better.
I'd like to nominate myself for this committee. I'd like to be on it.
All right,
I'm happy to serve with him on it also.
Kale, Craig. Well, that sounds like a pretty good team to me. All right, Craig Smith and
Kale?
Kale, what is your last name? Martin,
It helps.
for ordinance committee. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Scott, did you have something to say? Heard something, okay. All right, next item, articles of incorporation to the lieutenant governor. Discussion on that.
I think Kel was trying to work on that.
I think this is something Kel's already been doing, so he certainly should be.
Yeah.
So aren't we having trouble getting them to answer the phone?
Yeah, Lieutenant Governor's been a little hard to get a hold
So
of.
I spoke to the League of Cities and Towns and they said that's pretty much protocol for them. They don't answer the phone.
Yeah.
So we're probably gonna have to carry this in
Okay.
and hand it to them, I
So this one
suspect.
Jess wants to do as well.
Yeah, I'm happy
So
to.
you and Kel.
Perfect.
And Kale, okay. Now, does this have anything to do with that retirement letter, Kale?
Yes, they're sending that. It's on its way. That's complete. And
Okay.
the retirement letter has to be turned into the Lieutenant
You wanna
Governor.
Explain real quick what that is and,
So in paperwork that we have to send to the Lieutenant Governor in order to get our certificate of incorporation, there's a retirement letter letting them know of a boundary change. They send that over to us and then we turn it into the Lieutenant Governor. That's on its way.
okay. All right, I'll accept that nomination. So we've got Kale Martin and Jess Bird on the committee for the delivering the articles of incorporation to the Lieutenant Governor. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Next item is E, which is IT, email and website. That's going to be my wheelhouse. I have been working with the federal government to procure erda.gov, and I got the email this morning that has been successful. So the city of Erda actually owns and controls erda.gov. That will be our website and our email domain. I have gone through and I've gotten in touch with a local Utah reseller that specializes with governments in Utah to set us up with a trial account for Google Workspaces, Google Cloud Workspaces. The trial is there. We can use it. Email will flow right now to first initial last name at erda.gov for the 5 individuals you see in front of here. Now, we have not voted on or chosen to adopt any of those things. And so we need to do that tonight if we're going to make that good. And so email was a top priority for us because we've been trying to text and we want to do all these things, and that subjects our cell phones to grammar requests and things like that. So we just had to have email so that we could have a way to communicate all together without having to turn in our cell phones every time there's a grammar request. So that is set up.
And we spoke about this a week ago
Yeah,
in
we,
an unofficial meeting. This is not just something Jess
we,
decided for us. So, but
thank you.
we're grateful for you.
Thanks for backing me up on that. I think we need a motion to accept erda.gov as our official domain and only domain, and to start using email as first initial last name at erda.gov and make that official for the city and authorize that for use. And so that's my motion.
We need to split that from the committee assignment. So we have you as a committee person. We need someone else on there. And then we should have that split and be a separate.
Okay. I'm
Even
afraid
though,
if we
even though it's
don't,
already done?
I'm afraid if we don't vote to authorize that tonight, we probably ought to be using it.
I agree, and I think we should do it right here where it is, website is on the agenda. It's the appropriate place, but we need to get the committee assignment done separately.
Okay. All right. Well, let's start with the committee assignment.
You,
I nominate myself. Is there anybody else that would like to be on that committee?
Just looking at the five of us, I would think Kel would probably be the only other logical person for any kind of IT website thing.
I'll do it.
Okay, any others? All right,
but we still need to adopt Erda.gov as our.
let's do the
official
committee
website.
assignment first and then we'll move on to that. So, Mr. Recorder, it has been proposed that Cale Martin and Jess Bird be on the IT committee. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, further on IT. I move that we adopt erda.gov as the city's official domain name, website, and email domain.
Second.
So,
Thank you. All in favor?
aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. And I move that we designate first initial last name at erda.gov to be our email address pattern. And that we authorize those email addresses for immediate uses for the city.
I'll second that one.
Okay, been moved and second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Motion carries. All right, any other discussion on IT? Yeah, there is more discussion. So, Mr. Kale, Martin, we've got to, email's just half of that. We've got to find somebody to do our website.
Okay.
We don't have a resolution set forth to authorize us to advertise for a web developer. But seeing as this meeting is somewhat unofficial and we're not collecting tax dollars yet, I think it would be appropriate to accept a motion to authorize the IT committee to go out and search for a web developer and get proposals. That's my motion. Is there any second?
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. All right, any discussion on that?
Something we have to have. I don't think we have a choice.
Sooner than later.
Okay. It's been moved that we authorize the IT committee to go out and find a web developer and hosting company to host a website. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Okay. Hey, we finally found a hot button. Item F, attorney.
Mr. Chairman, I'll serve on that committee.
Okay,
I would volunteer, but I wonder if we shouldn't have, no, we can't have three. Never mind.
I would like to nominate Terry Minor.
Okay. And I'll second it.
Okay, probably need a second for Craig Smith.
I'll second it.
Okay. All right, are we leaving your name in the running? We can
Well,
vote.
if we have three, we'll be in trouble. Then we'll
We
decide.
can't have three, but
Then
we
we'll decide.
can put it to a vote.
Oh, I
Unless
see.
you back out.
I see. Do you really want to do this?
I've already seen a couple of them.
So have I. That's the only reason I would volunteer is because I've already had a couple of them approach me. So,
And Craig has too.
Yeah.
Of the five of us, these three have been most involved.
so I'll stay in just because I have that information.
You won't share it?
If I can get it off my wife's email, yeah. I'm not sure. I'll have my kids here this weekend. They could get it off probably.
All right, looks like we need to have a vote on this.
If Scott and Terry want to do that, that's fine by me.
Oh,
We don't need to vote on that.
Are you
We'll make
withdrawing?
it easy. I'll withdraw.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion on that? Okay, we have two nominees, Terry Minor and Scott Drubay for Attorney Committee. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, we've got our Attorney Committee. Item G, garbage.
No one wants to be the garbage man, but
I
I
think
know,
Kel's already been.
I know Kel has
Cal,
already had discussions.
I would
in this.
nominate Kale. He's reached out to Ace Disposal. Ace Disposal is here with us tonight.
I've also reached out to the county as well.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I've talked to,
Okay.
so.
I think Kale's
I'll
an
nominate.
obvious pick. I would nominate Kale. Is there,
This sounds like an easy one. I'll do it with Kel.
I'll let you.
Good thinking.
It's not
Good
about talking trash, it's taking it out.
Yep.
Okay. All right, we've got nominees for Garbage Committee. Kale Martin and Craig Smith. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Because we've got Ace Disposal actually here in the building, I would just put it out there to the five of us. We've got them here. Do we want to have a statement for them?
Save it from public comment.
Yeah, it'd be more appropriate in public comment.
Okay, sounds good. You guys got 3 minutes in public comment if you want it. Okay, great. All right, item H, land use zoning. This is to assign a committee.
So let's be perfectly clear. This committee will not be doing the land use and zoning. They'll be propagating maps, bringing them to us for us to decide, discuss. We will say what these maps should be, look like. This committee will go back, change them, bring them back before us until we can all vote on it.
How does this committee interface, or what does it look like in conjunction with the zoning and planning committee, which we'll be voting on later?
I would think they would work very closely with our planning and zoning.
Okay,
I would think at some point in time, I mean, there has to be a liaison between us and the planning and zoning, but.
So I guess I have my doubts that anybody could go over all of the different zonings and all the different land uses in the time we have to turn this in.
No, a lot of these committees will be ongoing committees for quite some time.
They don't have.
Oh,
a
I'm with
60
you.
December deadline.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm with you.
this isn't a one and done, you're done in 2 weeks.
Okay.
I'm gonna regret this, but I'd like to be on that committee.
I'll be on it with you.
Okay,
Okay,
did you say you're with me, or you'd like to be on there with me?
I'm on there with you.
Okay,
Both. I'm with you on it and with you on it.
thanks, Craig, I appreciate that. All right, we've got two nominees, or one volunteer and one nominee. Any discussion, any other nominations? Okay, we've got Craig Smith and Jess Bird on the land use zoning committee. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. The motion passes. All right, any other discussion on that? Okay, item number 7, resolutions for discussion or action.
You
Finance.
missed I and J.
Oh, thank you. Item I, finance, liability, I'd say finance and liability insurance. And I'd like to note that finance is pretty broad there. And so I think these people will be in charge of finding us a bank, setting up a bank account. They will be in charge, probably the first people that'll be in charge for applying for grants. What else?
If it deals with money, likely it'll be them.
Would the treasurer work under this committee? Or under
I
the,
would have to think. I would have to think so. This is time-wise going to be the biggest, longest working committee. And I'm gonna throw him under a bus, but the most conservative person that I would trust more than anybody in the world is Scott Druby.
I'd second that.
And I would,
That's awful quick. Wasn't it? Wasn't that awful quick?
Thanks, Greg. Any
but
other?
he would have to accept it.
Yeah, you
Oh, do I?
Yeah, you do.
Okay, I will.
Who do you want to work with?
Let's see, you and I are on one, two, we're on two of them together. Who am I not working with? I'm with Craig. I'm not with, I would rather do it with you.
Okay.
I nominate Terry.
Second,
He's got a lot of time.
yes, he does.
Not anymore.
Any other nominations? Any discussion? Okay, all in favor for Terry Minor and Scott Dubay on the Finance Committee, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Okay, item J, office and meeting places. So now we're going to talk about basically have 2 or 3 options there in Erda. We also have this building as an option for our office and meeting places.
I nominate jail.
I accept.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Anybody else?
You know of a few places in Florida, Jess?
Just ones that I've heard about, like the middle school, the firehouse, which firehouse would be pretty packed if we keep having meetings this size,
Yeah, I would.
which they probably will be for the first couple of months, I would imagine, and then they maybe die off. At least that's what I've heard.
I nominate Jess for the second.
I second.
Well said.
Right, thank you for that nomination.
Anytime.
Kale, can we do this?
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, all right. All right, it's been proposed that Kale Martin and Jess Bird take on the Office and Meeting Places Committee. All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Anything you want to say on that, Kale? You made any contacts?
We've talked to the firehouse, but like he said, this many people, it's gonna be pretty packed.
Okay.
So we're just gonna have to
How
contact more
about, how
people.
about for an office location?
I have not made any contacts yet about office location. We've had a couple of offers, but
Has the firehouse offered to let us use that?
I believe,
Kind of being used as a bunk room right now or
not,
something?
yeah, not 100% positive, but I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
but
Well, we're a new city. We're just getting started. We have $0. And so our first offices, I don't expect will be very fancy. I'd put it out to the public if there's any suggestions for places where I think we ought to meet in Erda, and I think we ought to have offices in Erda if at all possible. And then we don't have many options there. But if anybody has any suggestions, please bring it to us in the public comment section. Anything else on that? Okay, moving on. We do have some resolutions. We have drawn up some resolutions that we've all seen. When I say we, I'm talking about the council. Apparently you're supposed to post these publicly before you vote on them. They've got to be more than just in your agenda. They've got to be posted as well. That posting has not happened, but like I said, this meeting it's official, but it isn't. And so we're gonna vote on these. Has everybody in the council read these and is willing to vote on these tonight?
Have they been
Yeah,
updated
but
to
let's-
take the mayor part out?
Yeah, there's a couple of things in there that we're gonna read them through as we go.
We're gonna do
over
them
right?
one at a time. Yep.
Okay.
And any changes you want to
It's
see.
like that first one says the mayor.
Yeah. So we've got no way to store these documents together. And so we've all got separate copies of these.
So yours is the good one.
I've talked to Craig Smith over here and we talked about a lot of the documents had the word mayor in it. And we've kicked this back and forth, Should the chairman be the mayor? It was very clear in the election that Erda did not want a mayor. So we are going to have, we obviously have a chair for the council. I believe this chair position is also going to do some duties that a mayor would do, especially when it comes to filing things like federal grant applications and anything with the federal government. I can tell you already doing the erda.gov, they want to see mayor next to your name. And so we're gonna try to tiptoe around this subject. We're going to use the title mayor as very little as possible, only in those documents with the state and federal government that require it. Other than that, this position here in the center of the room here will be referred to as chair. And so in these documents that we've got, these 5 or 6 resolutions we've got here, I've gone through and basically done a find and replace. And anywhere it might have said chair/acting mayor, something like that, I have replaced it with the word chair. And so I think maybe we accept a motion to, when we go to do these resolutions, we accept a motion to accept the resolution, but amend it that any reference to mayor is stricken and replaced with chair. Any discussion on that? Okay. Do we have a set of documents here that we're prepared to vote on tonight? With, or at least discuss? Vote yea or nay?
The stuff rolling for the treasurer and
Okay.
at least for sure the treasurer.
Have we read them through and understand them? That's my concern.
Yeah, I would say we need to go over them.
But
Page by page
we're
and
gonna
then-
go over them. We're gonna go over them. I just want to make sure everyone here understands.
So
Okay,
yeah, as we go through our discussions on each one of these, we can amend and change however we want. We can adopt them with whatever amendments and changes we need to make.
sounds good. Let's attempt to do that. Resolution 2021-01, resolution for chairman to submit incorporation materials. All right, I've got that in front of me. It's going to be a very long meeting if we read it. So that's why I want to make sure everyone in the council has read it. I would accept motions for amendment.
So under section 2 there, it's talking about,
Craig, under your feet is a black bag.
it's talking about the appointment of the planning commission.
We're talking about this one, right now, this first resolution.
I got 2201, right?
This is ordinance and we're on
We're on the resolutions.
resolution right now.
Okay,
Far ahead.
okay. All right.
This is what we're on.
I did the same thing, Scott, if that makes you feel
Following.
better.
Resolution 20.
I don't have that.
So I think on the resolution, we could skip all the Utah code part. It pretty much says we have 30 days from the canvas to turn it in. That's all code. The resolution more and or less reads, now therefore it will be resolved, the city council elect of Erda, Utah, that the chair elect shall submit the notice of the impending boundary action and approved final local entity plat to the city of Erda to the Utah State Lieutenant Governor on or before December 16th. That is basically what the resolution is, that we will, the chair will turn in our incorporation materials on time. I would like to actually amend that upon, after review from the city council, the chairperson turns that in.
I agree.
Okay, it's, we've got a, first off, we ought to have a motion to adopt this resolution and then an amendment.
So
So
we will have discussion about it first, and then we'll make a motion. And
That's fine.
And I'll make the motion, but that will be.
that's fine, but you're
Amendment.
proposing an amendment to a motion that hasn't been made. is all
I'm
saying.
discussing what I would like to put in it and see if anyone else
Okay,
agrees with
all
it
right.
or not.
I would.
Could you
think that's the way
repeat that to me and I'll write it, or
So,
the recorder will write it down too?
I just read that paragraph, so everyone in the audience knows what we're talking about.
But the part you want inserted,
The part I would like inserted is that it shall be submitted, the impound battery action and the approved final entity plat of the city of Erda to the Lieutenant Governor's office after council review and before December 16th.
perfect.
I don't have a copy of that, Craig. I'm just inserting what's after council review.
So inserting after council review, after the word governor and before the word before. Greg, you want to look at that?
That's. Yes.
Okay, I move that we as a council adopt resolution for chairman to submit incorporation materials, including Craig's amended text. Any discussion?
So before the 16th meeting, that's before the deadline, correct? Does what, when we take this into the Lieutenant Governor's office, is it got to be before that day, or is that, we could walk in that day and turn it in?
I think we turned it.
Or is that
I think
like a
you
day
have
they
to
have to
turn it in
review it?
that day.
Okay,
I think we have, I don't think I would wait till the last day. I might take it in on the 15th, but just to be safe. But yes, it needs to be there on or before the 16th.
okay.
Okay. All right. Motion for the floor is to adopt 2021-01 resolution to for chairman to submit incorporation materials with Craig's amendments. All in favor, say aye.
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 Are there any opposed? All right, motion carries. Mr. Recorder, are you comfortable with what you've got there? Okay. Okay, that is our first resolution. Next resolution, 2021-02, authorize chairman to advertise for city clerk. Craig, I'll do what you did, and that is, we've got a bunch of code and whereas here. I'm going to start with the now therefore. Now therefore be it resolved by the council of the city of Erda, Utah, that the council authorizes the chair to delegate the task to another council member. I'm sorry, I read that. I missed an or. The council authorizes the chair to or delegate the task to another council member, advertise for a city clerk. Any discussion on that one?
Do we want to add the word part-time city clerk? Now, does it matter? I don't know.
Like, we
Depends
could
if we're having
discuss
an
that.
Official deal or not official, because I think they'll send all the resumes to the Erda.org.
The chair ought to know what we're advertising for, and part-time sounds like a pretty good
We're
description.
not hiring anyone here, and we'll have to negotiate that. This is just a resolution to advertise. I think we-
A job listing, we usually say if it's part-time or full-time.
Yeah, I would say, I don't know if we need to add the language or not. Certainly not if we all agree on it, but it wouldn't hurt maybe to add for part-time.
I would move that we amend after the words city clerk. As a part-time position.
For a part-time city clerk.
No, so
Advertise.
the council authorizes the chair to or delegate the task to another council member, advertise for a city clerk as a part-time position.
I'll second that.
Okay, Craig Smith seconds. Any other discussion on this? All right, motion before the floor is to adopt resolution 2021-02, granting the chair the authorization to or delegate the task to advertise for a city clerk as a part-time position. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Motion carries. Hand that over to my friend there. Okay, number 3 is just like number 2, and that is resolution 2021-03, authorize chairman to advertise for a city treasurer. Discussion on this one.
I move we add the same language onto this one.
Okay. At the end of the, okay, at the end of the paragraph, or now therefore, we're going to add as a part-time position. Any discussion? All right, motion before the floor is to adopt resolution 2021-03. Now therefore be it resolved by the council of the city of Erda, Utah, that the council authorizes the chair to or delegate the task to another council member, advertise for a treasurer as a part-time position. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. All right, 2021-04, expense reimbursement policy. I move that we table this one indefinitely.
Well, I think we was just gonna add upon review of the city council.
Okay.
We can really do this one either way because we don't have a budget and our expense account to do a reimbursement from.
Myself and Craig are out of pocket right now, probably less than $200 or $300 a piece. And that's the way this city's going to be funded at first, right out of our pockets. And so we were trying to get a document together that could get us reimbursed just as soon as possible. We have $0. So it really doesn't make sense to pass this right now, I think, and we can always do it on the next meeting.
And we have no way of reimbursing right now. So passing it today doesn't do much good to us.
Okay.
So as I read this, though, this doesn't necessarily mean we've got to do it now.
No,
It's just going to establish that anytime one of us incurs expenses for the city, we can be reimbursed.
The problem with this document in particular is that it has no limits and no,
That's why we put upon
it just has to be
review of the city council.
review the council.
so yeah, sorry.
I'd accept a motion or an amendment to the document.
Well, I think if we amend the document to say upon approval of city council, then we have protection in there. everyone moving forward knows they will get reimbursed, but
Has to go
They-
through
they
this
know that
whole
the-
city
the
council.
city council will have to approve it.
I somehow don't have that in front of me, so can I borrow somebody's? I'll write it down and then give it to the recorder. Okay. Craig, can you hit me with that again?
I don't know exactly how it should read, but each member of city council will be entitled to reimbursement for actual and necessary expenses personally advanced on city business and for the purposes of the startup of the city upon approval of city council.
Second on that motion?
A second.
All right, any more discussion? Okay, we're gonna pass, we're gonna
Bridge to
vote on
nowhere.
this and it really doesn't mean anything. If me and Craig submit receipts, we've got nobody to submit it to, but
Yeah.
it will go in as
Scott and Terry are on it.
something that can happen
That's right.
in the future. Resolution,
You better take a vote on it.
before the floor, resolution 2021-04. Now therefore be it resolved that the council elect the city of Erda, Utah. Each member of the city council shall be entitled to reimbursement for actual and necessary expenses personally advanced on the city business for the purpose of the startup of the city upon approval of the city council. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. Let's see. Item number, or resolution number 2021-05. Authorize chairman to enter contract for website. Now, we've got an IT committee and we already have authorization to go find somebody. This would be a resolution to allow the IT committee to go ahead and contract with that person. Now, the only caveat I would say here is, again, any costs are going to be footed up front. Sounds like by me. We've got no way to pay for it. But if maybe we can find a web developer that's willing to work with us and take payment, knowing that it's going to be down the
Well,
road.
it doesn't necessarily have to be all borne by you as well. All of us could chip in on stuff.
How much does something like this cost?
Sky is the limit when it comes to this kind of thing, but I think we ought to have a budget $1,000 or less.
So that's you.
I'm $1,000 or less.
I think
I'm way less than $1,000.
I envision our website at the very beginning looking like, basic information, meeting agendas, a way to contact different people in the city. Just basic. Maybe we get advanced enough to learn how to put a link to prior meeting recordings and stuff on there, but we might just rely on the state website for that. So any discussion or amendments on this before we vote on it?
I didn't have any on here. And I don't know, maybe we it should go through city council on this one also. But I hadn't redlined anything on this one.
It would be consistent if
I
we,
think all expenditures should go through the city.
put the city's
Have prior approval.
approval on it.
All right, help me out with the wording.
It's like the last one. What was on the last one, Craig?
Now wherefore be resolved, the city council elect of Erda, Utah, that the council hereby authorizes and directs the chair to contract for website design services for the city of Erda upon council approval.
Any further discussion? All right, resolution 2021-05. Now therefore be it resolved by the county of the city of Erda, Utah, that the council hereby authorize and directs the chair to contract for website design services for the city of Erda upon approval by city council. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? Okay, was that an aye?
Yeah, it was. It was a-
Okay, that's a yes vote. All right, it's unanimous.
Unanimous.
All right. All right. This one feels a little bit like a joke to me. This is our logo that I've contracted out on fiverr.com from a recommendation by a good friend. And opinions on this logo are all over the board, depending on who you give it to. So I don't have one for everyone. I'll just kind of describe the logo to you. There are three different options here.
Hold it up to him while you're doing it.
It's basically, we've gone back and forth. What should we be called? Erda City, City of Erda, just Erda. I personally was in favor of City of Erda because it kind of separates the government from the people, or government from the area. But that's kind of been shot down. And so sounds like we're going to be going by Erda City. Now, that is not before the floor today. We're not going to vote on what we call Erda or the city of Erda or what we go by, but we are going to vote on a logo, yes or no. So the logo reads Erda, Utah, Erda in big letters, Utah in small letters with a line underneath. And the basis of the logo is the Welcome to Erda Rock, which was an Eagle Scout project, and it's out in front of the big red barn that everybody knows about. And so I've got three variations on that: rock on the left, Erda on the right, rock on the top, Erda on the bottom. And then we've got that kind of official looking seal, which is number 3 here on the bottom of my page I'm holding up. And it is kind of it looks like an official looking seal. And so it says Erda on top, Utah on the bottom. It's got 6 stars on it and wheat symbols surrounding the rock, the Welcome to Erda Rock. Now this Welcome to Erda Rock is an actual photo of the rock. And so it has in very small, barely legible, the actual words that are on the rock. And so we've got a resolution here to adopt a logo. First off, we need to vote on which logo is the favorite. And then we've got to vote whether we accept this, at least as a temporary logo, or shoot it down. And so in talking to these gentlemen, as this logo has taken shape, it sounds to me like option number 3, the one that looks like the seal, which is a circle, is most in favor. So I would move that we bring number 3 forward as the only logo forward that we vote on tonight.
I second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second that the circle or seal logo will be the one we vote on. Do we want to have some discussion on this logo? Do we want to see some edits?
Was there a subject to change on that?
What do you mean?
Oh,
I don't hear one. I didn't hear one, Terry. It's just that one. So Terry would really like to have the red barn also included in the background of that seal. And it seems like a good idea, but it might run us into some money. I don't know.
This poor guy from India is probably going to do whatever he can to make me happy. I've gone back and forth with him several times. And if the council decides that we want a red barn in the background, then I will go back to this poor Indian feller and ask him to do that for us.
The one that's there, I think will actually work relatively well as a city. I also think
that if you need to make minor changes,
Well, that is a minor change.
Very minor change.
not a Terry minor change, but a minor change in order to make it stand out a little bit more, that's an insignificant change. And
This is what $130 buys you on Fiverr.com.
Why do you decide till after public comment? Where we are living? You wanna be on- you wanna be-
I think if we all hear opinions on what the logo looks like, we'll be here all night.
We're all residents here.
We're gonna
We-
vote on this and we can change it at any time.
we could table it for a week if you wanted to. But
The argument to accept this logo is it gives us something to put on a letterhead if we did need to file any more paperwork with the federal government, state, and they just want something to be on letterhead.
are you saying you've had a bad week of trying to get stuff through with no letterhead?
I'm sorry.
Are you saying you've had a bad week trying to get things through with no?
I have
actual
had a bad
letterhead?
week trying to get things through with no letterhead and no mayor. It's been very difficult.
Yeah, I think
go
we've
ahead.
got more important things to be worrying about rather than a logo. I think people would rather have us working on more
Thank you,
better
Kale.
things. So
Well,
I
let's,
say we vote on it.
let's move forward. Let's vote on it. I think we vote to adopt this as our logo and we change it whenever we want to in the future.
Second.
Okay.
agree.
Motion on the floor is to accept the circle or seal version of the Erda, Utah logo. Unamended. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye. Are there any opposed? Okay, motion carries. We have a letter, or I'm sorry, we have a logo which we can use as letterhead. And for the time being,
If we only had paper.
when we have a better budget, maybe we go for a better logo. All right, number 9, we have one ordinance. And this will be resolution, no. Ordinance. That was resolution. All right, I'm missing the first page of that somehow. I borrow that from
It's
somebody.
got my marks on it.
Well, good. We'll share, Scott.
Okay.
All right, ordinance 2021-01, creation of a planning commission.
There's one without marks on it.
Okay. I think we ought to go through and read the important parts of this. If you give me a second, I will come through here. We've got a bunch of whereases, basically talking about Utah code and things. And then it comes down and says, now therefore be it ordained by the council that the following be adopted to establish a planning commission. Scott, if you want, I'll just go ahead and read through.
Okay.
And why don't you let me get all the way through it and then we'll go back and amend. Section 1, purpose. It is the intent of this ordinance that a planning commission be created with the will, which will represent the concerns of diverse citizen groups, as well as the broad interests of the community as a whole, and reflect the laws of the state. That membership of this commission provide balanced representation in terms of geographic, professional, neighborhood, and community interest, and that a wide range of expertise relating to development of a healthy and well-planned community be sought when establishing or altering the composition of the membership of the commission. Suggested interests from whom expertise might be selected are as follows: banking, development, contracting, engineering, geology and seismology, law, ecology and behavioral sciences, historical preservation, architecture, and landscape architecture. It is not, however, intended that the composition of the commission be limited to professionals, but rather that it represents a cross-section of the community. Section 2, appointment. The commission shall be comprised of 7 members, 1 from each district and 2 additional members at large. The district members are appointed by the respective council members, and the at-large members are appointed by the chair with the advice and consent of the council. When it says the advice and consent of the council, it basically means these 2 at-large members will be voted on as a popular vote. So, and at-large means it doesn't matter what district they come from. This will be any applicants from the entire city. Okay, except for the initial terms as provided below, terms shall be for 4 years. Appointment shall be by the resolution of the council. The initial members of the commission shall be appointed as follows. The 5 initial members, 1 from each district, and 2 additional members at large shall be appointed on the effective date of this ordinance or as soon as practical thereafter. 2 appointees shall serve an initial term which shall expire June 30th, 2023. 2 appointees shall serve an initial term which shall expire on June 30th, 2024. And 1 appointee shall serve an initial term which shall expire on June 30th, 2025. The 2 alternate members shall serve as an additional term which shall expire June 30th, 2024. Section 3, term limitation. Members of the commission may serve successive terms. Section 4, residence requirement. All appointed members of the commission must be bona fide residents and qualified electors of Erda. Section 5, compensation and reimbursement of expenses. Members of the commission shall not receive compensation or reimbursement of any expenses unless this policy is modified by the council. Section 6, removal and vacancies. Members of the commission may be removed by the mayor. I'm sorry, we're going to change that. And we've already said that anytime we see the word mayor, it's chair. So I'm going to read it as chair. Members of the commission may be removed by the chair with the advice and consent of the council. Vacancies must be filled by the city council within 30 days of resignation or removal of the member for the unexpired term of such member. The absence from 4 consecutive planning meetings constitutes a resignation. Any vacancy occurring on the commission by reason of expiration of term shall be promptly filled by the chair with the advice and consent of the council. Section 7. Sorry, guys, I got to make a note there. I'm going to make a motion to amend that when it comes time. Section number 7, officers. The commission shall annually elect a chair, a vice chair, and such other officers it deems advisable from among its members. The chairman and other such officers elected by the commission shall serve for a term of 1 year and may serve successive terms. Section 8, quorum. 4 members of the commission shall constitute a quorum. That is because a quorum is made up of half the number of the total commission plus 1. And so basically 3.5 plus 1, 4 makes a quorum.
So can we, oh wait, I'm gonna let you
We're not quite
finish.
there yet.
Sorry.
I'm almost there. Section 9, procedure. The commission shall adopt rules of order and procedure for use by the planning commission in a public meeting and for any other purposes considered necessary for the functioning of the commission. Such policies and procedures shall be approved by the council before taking effect. Section 10, powers and duties. The commission shall make a recommendation to the council for 1, a general plan and amendments to the general plan. 2, land use ordinances, zoning maps, official maps, and amendments. 3, an appropriate delegation of power to at least 1 designated land use authority to hear and act on a land use application. 4, the appropriate delegation of power to at least one appeal authority to hear and act on appeal from a decision of the land use authority. And 5, application processes that. And I'm out of paper here. I think we're missing one.
I think it's this one, isn't it?
Terry? Okay, application processes that A, will include a formal designation of streamlined routine land review use and matters action that if upon the application is proper, uncontested notice and shall protect the right of each applicant and third party to require a formal consideration of any application by a land use authority. Number 2, or letter II, applicant adversely affected party or municipal officer or employee to appeal a land use authority's decision to separate appeal authority. And 3, participant to be heard in each public hearing on a contested application. Number 6, exercise any other powers that are necessary to enable it to perform its functions that are delegated to it by the council or conferred upon it by statutes of the state of Utah. Section 11, meetings. I'm almost there. The commission shall establish their meeting schedule. Such meeting schedule shall be approved by the council before taking effect. All meetings, including any necessary public hearings, shall be heard after the regular working hours of Erda City. All meetings and public hearings of the commission shall be public meetings and comply with the provisions of Utah Code Section 52-4-1 ETSEQ and be held in a public place designated by the commission and shall be of sufficient size to ensure public access. Section 12, effective date. This ordinance shall take effect immediately. All right, discussions and amendments, and the chair is going to request a recess for
You need a glass of water?
nature reasons.
Oh,
So let's get some amendments clearly here. We're with some amendments when we'll take a recess, if that's okay with everybody. All right, Scott,
so are we recessing first or having?
let's
discussion
have
first?
some discussion and amendments.
Couple of things.
Go ahead,
I'll make
Craig.
mine quick. Paragraph 2, we need to change where it says offices to officers. Just in the second line,
Section 2 or paragraph 2?
on the second paragraph, back up in the whereases.
Oh, okay.
When we are legally incorporated, it shouldn't say the offices, it should be officers of your city.
Okay.
And then when we originally talked about this, we talked about a 5-member commission, 1 from each council with 2 alternates. Having served on a planning commission, we need alternates. And the reason is when someone's not there for whatever reason, they're sick or out of town on other business, someone needs to be able to fill their seat. I would feel more comfortable with a 5-member commission with the 2 at-large alternates to fill those seats and a quorum of 3. I think they'll be able to more efficiently do business that way.
Scott, you're supposed to be next, but I have something specifically to say on this point.
Well, go right ahead.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry. So I wrote much of this portion, or I modified much of this portion. It was my idea to do the 5 that are appointed by each district respectively. And that appointment will come by the council member from that district. And then 2 at large, which will be a popular vote amongst the 5. I'm
with you so far.
hearing everything Craig Smith is saying about the quorum being 1 larger, and that is a concern, a valid concern. The reason I liked the 7 elected or appointed members as opposed to 5 plus 2 alternates is that I think we'll get more engagement from our added 2, however you want to call that, the members number 6 and 7. I think we'll get more engagement if to have them show up to every meeting if they can vote and not just be sitting around as an alternate. That's why I had that idea, and that's why I'm going to propose that we have the 7-member council as opposed to 5 with 2. Any other discussion on that?
So maybe if we had the 7, but didn't require, how to say that, there wasn't a requirement, you have to have 3 to have a quorum is all,
We,
is what,
you can't change the quorum requirement. It's hard math.
It's, yeah, the quorum.
But
is
what I'm
based
saying
on
is-
Actual members.
but what you were talking about, Craig, was having 5 and a quorum of 3 and then the alternates.
Correct.
So would we have? No, we couldn't. I was gonna say we could have the 7, but lower the requirements for the, but we can't lower
No.
the requirements for the quorum.
If
So
you
it
have
would be
all-
7 with 4,
Yeah.
the way it's written right now.
If all 7 of them are sitting members, the quorum is 4. That's just the way it is. I've been an alternate. I only one time ever sat out of a meeting as an alternate, and I just was sat in the public for that, but
You didn't.
we'll just say my preference would be the 5 people, 1 from each district, and 2 at-large alternates to fill seats in case someone's not there.
I think I like the idea of having 7, because then you get 5, you get each district covered, because there's gonna be different issues with the east side than there is with the west side, for example. And so I think that's a really good idea that we had. I also think that having 2 kind of takes up the slack of, well, those people on the east side always get whatever they want. You know,
I think you're gonna get that no matter what.
some of us live eastward in Erda. So not sure that's a bad thing. So
Am I
I'm
hearing
in
that-
favor of, probably keeping it the way it is, as long as we can have a quorum of only 4.
Okay,
It would be a quorum of 4 with 7 members.
I still make that motion.
Yeah, I like it too. I think it represents everyone.
okay. Let's get one amendment out of the way and then we'll take our nature break. We're not voting on the entire resolution. We were voting to amend the document. No, I'm sorry. We don't need
a motion.
We don't need to vote on this.
I don't
No.
think
It's as written.
Yeah, I don't think so.
With the one clerical error, it's as written,
Okay, all right.
and we don't need to vote on that.
I move that we take a 5-minute recess. All in favor?
No.
Second that.
We got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
I'll give you this one.
I hear a weak majority. I'm gonna take it. Break for 5.